Alright guys, this is our course navigation video that you can find in the Welcome Center. This is just to kind of go over general locations of where you can find stuff. You'll notice that your navigation bar is a little bit different because mine is in instructor mode. But your welcome videos are here, Zoom tips as well as the virtual lab and software downloads, what to look for, what version to get, and generally what the download process would be, as well as how to access the virtual lab, email yourself, save stuff, etc. Okay, so if at any time you just don't want to see this, you always have the option to collapse the widget, and that will basically just turn it into a bar that says welcome. There's something similar with the get started steps. This is to kind of guide you for an introduction to the course. You can see on the right side we have our due dates for the semester, so you can see when certain weeks will open, when activities are due, when you have quizzes, when availability of certain things end. But generally this is just like a short checklist. You have to read the syllabus in order to unlock the week 1 materials, so make sure you do that. I also encourage you to take the pre-semester survey. Since we don't get to have an in-person class together, I feel like this is a great way for you guys to kind of give input, so I can get a sense of where you are in terms of internet access, what computer software you might be using, or what operating system you might be using if you have any adverse situations going on at home. Everything is completely confidential, but it does help me kind of get a better sense of who you are, what your preferences are, and how I can better tailor the class towards you guys as a whole. I do like to have a face associated with a name, so if you have a picture to upload to your Beachboard profile, please do it. Also, please make sure you set up your Beachboard notifications so that way you get emails when when I post a news announcement, or if I post new content, if I update content, that type of thing. Okay, and if you're not familiar with how Beachboard works, I know several students, I didn't find this stuff out until my upper division years at Long Beach, excuse me, but if you go to your profile, there's a notification center, and that's where you will set what your preferences are. So when you turn on notifications, you don't have to get a notification for everything. If you just want to know when grades are updated, get a notification for that, right? So you can kind of customize everything here. And then you can also do some customizations and account settings as well. Okay, so generally our course homepage is going to have the calendar due dates. Again, if you don't want the get started steps or you want them to go away, you can just collapse the widget, and then you have news items here. Okay, and that's where regular updates will go. I also have student resource links down at the bottom. These are also located in your syllabus. And then further at the bottom, we have my email. I usually respond within 24 hours. Honestly, I usually respond within a couple of hours if I'm not sleeping and I'm not in class. So I also included a bio if you want to know a little bit more about me. And then there's additional resources at the very bottom of our homepage. As far as content goes, I think this format that I started using last semester is super friendly for users. So we have a syllabus and course schedule that you can review. I also put in a course assignment checklist. So this is for the entire semester based off of weeks, and it has the tasks that you're supposed to complete and the due date that you're supposed to complete them by. So exam dates are highlighted in red so that they pop out. But if you want a general overview of what's coming or what is due on a weekly basis, you can look at this big checklist. Our online meetings area is where you're going to find the Zoom link for our live lectures if you wish to join us. Again, those live meetings are going to be on Mondays from 3 to 4:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Password to get in is kin483 with an exclamation point, capital K. Similarly, our virtual office, the Zoom link is located in here. Office hours will be Mondays 11:30 to 12:30. We also have a password for that as well. Okay. Additional online areas where you can ask questions are the student lounge, where it's just a discussion board where you can post resources that maybe you found helpful, ask questions that other students might be able to answer. And then there's also a discussion board for general course questions. Anything personal should be sent via email. That way we keep some discretion and confidentiality. There's another tab called Student Resources. Again, this is something that Beachboard provided me with. We're not going to be using Lockdown Browser, and these are additional campus resources. Okay. One of the most important tabs, if I can highlight it to you guys, is the course resources and study materials. I spent hours over the last several semesters putting together these resources. So the flowcharts, I think, oh no, sorry, my cat's decided to have a fight right now. So the flowcharts, I think, and many previous students have reported in feedback that these were the most helpful tool in this class. So you guys are going to be learning a lot of tests and a lot of analytical processes, and these kind of help organize those processes into a nice flow. So you have a step-by-step process. There are a lot of times where for a given test, you have, either option A or option B. If A, then you go to option C. If B, you go to option D. So the flowcharts kind of help organize the thought processes. There's a lot of smaller tests or assumptions built into larger analytical tests. So these are super helpful. And I do have videos posted on whenever any of these are introduced. There will be a video posted on how to read the flowchart. It's pretty self-explanatory, but in each of these there will be a filled out version as well as a blank version, so you can use it as a study tool if you feel like it's helpful. If you're not as much of a visual learner and you're more of a categorical or organizational learner, I have spreadsheets built for tests that are going to be in Exam 2, as well as statistical tests that will be in Exam 3. Again, there's a filled-in version as well as a blank version, so you can practice filling it in. These are to help you, kind of organize your information, what assumptions do you need, what type of variables, etc. Okay. Additionally, I think this is probably one of the most important resources other than the flowcharts. This has all of your formulas, all of your tests, all of the instructions for how to run your statistical analysis. It does have headings in it, so when you open it in Word, if you go to the tab that says View, and then you check the box that says Navigation, there should be a toolbar that pops up on the left side of your screen, and you can hit shortcuts through the document, so you don't have to keep scrolling through all the pages. Additionally, all of your exam study guides are down here, so when you get to exam week, you can utilize those. If you choose not to use the exam study guides, I basically build those with something that you guys get on a weekly basis. So this is what a week would look like. This is our week 1. You have your beginning and end dates, what the objectives are for the particular module, and then you can see down here a more specific list of items to know are provided in the Module 1 key terms and concepts. So this is kind of an alternative to the study guide. So if you do these or fill out these documents as you go as a form of studying on a weekly basis, all you have to do is put all of the modules that an exam is comprised of, you put them together and you have a study guide built already. Okay. Additionally, you have course learning outcomes that are associated with these module learning outcomes. And then this is a mini version of the big checklist that I already presented on. So again, your due dates are going to be listed here, as well as the grade items that are being evaluated for the week and the percentage of your final grade that is being taken from the week. So week 1, you guys are going to be completing 7.22% of your final grade. Additionally, at the bottom of each week, we have a lecture section. So any lecture-related documents, such as PowerPoints, if I have a class data set, if we have practice problems, or a video that accompanies practice problems, I will post it in the class lecture section. Your activity documents, as well as your quiz links, are going to be posted in the assignments and assessments area. So you can see activity 1 has a video. Typically, you're going to get an instructions page, an answer sheet that you'll fill out and turn in, and then data that you will be manipulating. There's a convenient link to the activity 1 Dropbox, as well as a link to the quiz. So everything you literally need for the week is in the week module. Okay. The supplemental resources area is usually where I'll post supplemental videos, as well as these nice, nifty week summaries, basically, of concepts that you would need to know. Okay, so that basically is the rundown of what you might be encountering on a weekly basis. Your grades tab is going to be where you can keep up to date on your grade items. We do have a weighted system, right? So if you remember in the syllabus, we said that exams were 30%, quizzes 20%, activities 50%. And then you also have this area down here where you have your extra credit for your exam review quizzes. So the way that you calculate your grade, basically you're going to get a weighted score based off of the points or percentage of points that you get for a given item. So if you got a 90% out of 60 points on exam 1, the weight that would be evaluated in the course would be a 90% of 25 points, or 25%, which is the weight for this category. And then basically you add up the weighted grades, and that's more or less your final grade. If you're ever unsure, I can always update you. Beachboard calculates grades slightly different than my gradebook does. My gradebook is much better. So I will always have the more accurate grade if you need. But typically in the past, Beachboard has been within about 0.5 to a whole percent from what my gradebook says. Okay. We also have Dropbox. If you don't want to use the Dropbox links within the week, all of your activities are listed in here, as well as the due dates on when you have to turn them in. Okay, so that's another way to keep track of stuff. And we also have a quiz section. This is broken down into your quizzes. You should also have availability information. It might not look exactly like this. We have our exams, and we also have our review quizzes. Okay. Last but not least, if you're interested in emailing any of your peers or myself, you can use the class list. I'm not going to scroll down again because I have instructor view right now, so there would potentially be some confidential information that could be exposed. But you just go down, click on who you want to email, and send away. All right. So that is that. That is our class. And I'm super excited to get started with you guys.